Hello, everybody.
Hello, Scott.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Scott.
Hi. How are my mortgage architects today?
All alive and well.
Hey, can you ask Dad to come down here, please?
Dad. Yeah, I'll give it one more minute, guys, and then we'll get started.
And Mom needs you to do the thing that you're forcing her to do that you should be doing. She doesn't know how to do it.
I think she's walked away from her computer. Sorry. Hey, Kelly, we can hear you. Okay. All right. I'm not sure. I know that. So first off, hey, welcome to Mortgage Architect. Hey, sorry. Hello, my fellow mortgage architects. Welcome to Connect Compliance demo pilot orientation today. Thank you very much for attending. I know there were several of you that are actually, well, they're not here. There's some people on the MPP trip. I know the CMBABC conference is today. So that's why we're recording this, so we can share it with that group of people when they have the chance. But thank you for joining us today. So first off, thank you for being a part of our pilot group. We truly do appreciate this. What is it? Question mark, I imagine, is what most of you are asking. What we're doing at Mortgage Architects and in conjunction with the Newton team is we are redeveloping essentially what you all know today to be Workbench. Workbench is your payroll compliance platform, and what you currently do today, or for those of you that know, is you would have to create and compile your file and put it into a single PDF package, find your file on Workbench, upload your file to Workbench, add your notes or commission comments or print CRM enrollment or what have you, and then submit it to the compliance team, who then review and authorize it for payroll and commission, so you can all be paid. I think most of you probably understand that process. What we're doing here today is we are developing and deploying a new file upload process with the Newton team, such that you will use your file documents that you have within within Velocity, and there is a facility and a feature there to submit to compliance from Velocity. So that is what is new and different for you guys here in our pilot group today. So why were you chosen? We chose you because you are all our Velocity ambassadors. Thank you. We chose you because you have some experience with dealing with Workbench and haven't got what I would say complicated or overly complicated teams. But the Imagine a World situation is, I always like to use the Imagine a World, the movie trailers, Imagine a World where the Imagine a World is that you will be working natively within the Velocity platform to manage your documents, to submit to compliance, get your deficiency notifications if you have any. I know none of you have any, and then be able to rectify them. So what is different? Why is this a pilot? This is a pilot because we need to have some real life transactions from your mortgage closings, to be able to test the balance of our systems. The Connect Compliance system is going to be something that will be quite straightforward to you. I'm going to introduce to you here Michael Masters. He's showing here as the training team. Do you want to wave, Michael?
Hi, guys.
It's Michael. He's going to show you exactly what that means within the Velocity platform, but I want you to keep in mind that this is sort of the first part of our test. Again, we want to get real life mortgage commission transactions into the system so that we can do the balance of your commission and processing and your payroll processing throughout. So because this is just an open Zoom, does anybody have any questions so far? No? Okay. So what is this meant to do? This is meant for you to take your documents, package them up in compliance, reorder them. One of the elements that you'll need to add to your Velocity process is our wonderful file checklist. You want to create it as a condition and use that as your first page, cover page, because it's still what's going to happen on the back end is it's going to come into the compliance team in a different portal. So they're not going to be communicating through the Workbench portal anymore. They're going to be communicating you through Velocity. And so if you have any deficiencies, etc., you'll get email notifications throughout the different statuses as they occur. And you'll still be able to add any commission notes or deal notes, for example, appraisal not required, that kind of thing. I think that probably covers most of it. The Imagine a World situation is you're going to see this is the new and improved. Why are we doing this? Mostly because you're looking at end of life on Workbench. The technology is getting older. There's new and greater technologies out there. And so this really is our first step. We're the man on the moon, even though we haven't been back to the moon since 1969. Apparently that's happening again soon. So we're all coming back to do our first steps on the moon. We're going to plant a flag. And like I say, chose you guys because you are obviously are great mortgage architects. You also have files that flow generally pretty seamless for us, and that frankly will use your patience as we work through the balance of the process once you've been able to submit to compliance. I think at that, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Michael Masters here. If you have any questions as you go, by all means, type them in the comments, send me an email, and thank you again for participating. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott. Alrighty, not too much of a difference in terms of what it is that I'll be covering today, but essentially what the ideal situation would be to get an idea of what the difference is between Connect Compliance and how it really affects you, so you move away from, or at least what the difference is between Connect Compliance and your Workbench situation. I will be covering, for the majority of the part, how this affects you in Velocity, since everything from here on out is going to run through Velocity from a document perspective. So what you're seeing there is pretty much the front page of Connect Compliance with the dashboard in there. But I'm going to separate this out simply. I've just created a slideshow into a 4-step process. So it's pretty much 4 steps to get this to the compliance team from Velocity working ideally within the system itself, or at least in the system as a whole. Your first step there is to go to at least get to your conditions and documents section. So you're going to go into a deal and you're going to end up in conditions and documents. Now, whichever documents are going to form part of your compliance package, the first step there is to go ahead and select them. So you're going to select inside the little square over there which document you want to use. So step 1 is just collect the documents that form part of your compliance package, select them all. Once you've identified which documents you're going to need for your compliance package, that's the first 2 steps done pretty much. However, just staying within the screen, some of your documents will already be here if you are making use of your client portal. So if you're using the client portal, your client would have uploaded those documents. You'll already see them here available for you to go and select them. If, however, you are doing this manually and you're adding the documents, then of course you're going to go to our add and upload button within Velocity and add the documents that form part of this package in itself. Once you completed this, you'd simply, and this is exactly why I'm going to go into a deal, and we'll do this actively now, but I wanted to show you this little picture over here for this little icon. Once you selected the documents, you want to go ahead and select the icon that pertains to compliance, and that is the one that I've blown up over there. So if I go into Velocity itself, it's kind of small, so I'm just showing you here. So first 2 is you're going to find out the documents you want, select them, and then go ahead and select the compliance icon. Having said that, you need to select inside the compliance icon within the document itself, but sometimes there's more than one document inside a single tile. You're going to need to open up that tile and select the documents that pertain to your compliance package in totality. And that's pretty much it. Once that is done, there's a prepare compliance button. You're going to hit that and prepare your compliance from there. Now, let's hop on into Velocity and see how this works and actively do it. Primarily, you're going to start out in a deal. Again, like I said, step one would be pop on in to your conditions and documents within the deal, and then you would go ahead and select whichever documents pertain to your package. Once you've done that, you would go ahead and select that little icon that I blew up for each and every one of those documents, telling the system that this is for compliance. Again, opening that up, you will find that same compliance icon under every one of the documents within that title. So if there's more than one document, you need to make sure that it's selected for all the documents underneath the title as well, because one of them might not pertain to your compliance package, to which you can deselect that as well in that sense. So if all of them pertain, I'll select them all. Once that's complete, you've told the system what it is that forms part of your package, and it's as simple as just clicking on prepare compliance from here. Once you've got everything together, the system will then ask you, do you want to gather these documents? Go ahead and click on gather. And what then will happen, or what then is going to occur, is that everything that you've selected in blue, that you've selected and identified as compliance, will appear over here as documents. Now, your compliance officer or someone on your compliance team may require these documents to be in a specific order. You can drag and drop them into any order that you wish, or that you need, or that your compliance officer needs it to be in, and you will then see it in that order, and then you can simply go ahead and click on create package, and that's going to pop it on over to Connect Compliance for your compliance officer to see. Once you've clicked on that, what you will see is one of three options, or at least progressively one of three options. Once you send on over, it will send to Connect Compliance, and you will see in yellow that your compliance package is now awaiting verification from the compliance officer. Moving over in this yellow little bar or tile over here, you can furthermore cancel it if you find a need to, or if there's anything that needs to be changed. Alternatively, you can view that package as well. So viewing and canceling is available when your compliance package is in progress for the compliance team within Connect Compliance. On your end, it's going to be yellow. Once your compliance team has gone into the new system, Connect Compliance, they will be able to mark this as compliant or non-compliant, depending on the systems they're working with. If it is identified that this particular group of documents is compliant, this yellow then becomes green, as you're seeing over here, indicating that your compliance has been confirmed inside Connect Compliance or inside the other system. These two speaking to one another. You will see within your velocity, it turns green. You can then go ahead and view that package. You'll only have the option to view because you've got a compliant model. Everything's compliant now, so you only need to view it. If, however, you do have a situation where it's marked as non-compliant by your compliance team, it won't turn green. Instead, it's going to go red. It's going to say deal is non-compliant over there. And you'll have the two options to view and resend from here as well. That is pretty much the broker end in a nutshell from what you're seeing inside of the velocity model. Outside of here, I want to maybe hand over back to you, Scott, to discuss how this differs from Workbench.
Yeah, sure. There is a, Sharon, yes, the answer is you will get a notification. You will get a notification either email, and you'll also get a notification inside Velocity around that status. If you have a deficiency, the same would be true. You'll get those notifications. Yeah, so I guess just three things that come to mind. You noticed perhaps when you do the file submission that you can add notes to your, so that's where you can add notes like there's appraisal, etc. You can also add your commission notes there. Now, having said that, for those of you that might have deal splits, so in Workbench today, if you have, if you're adding other participants to your deal when you're doing the edit and you get down to add other agents for splits, you're going to want to go into Workbench and still do that. The file will still be there. You won't need to upload your file. You just need to go and add that for the short term. This is going to be, so I see Saeed is nodding his head. Saeed, see you. Thank you, Saeed. We're going to need you to still go and make those kinds of deal splits and notes within the Workbench platform. That's not a permanent solution. That's a pilot group solution. This is why we're needing to do this test, frankly. But for now, if you happen to have complicated, or not complicated, excuse me, deal splits, if you're going to do deal splits where another agent is participating in the commissions that you have, you're going to want to still go to Workbench to add those for now. However, we don't want you to submit your files to Workbench. Don't upload the file, just make the edit and save it, and that's it. You're going to go back to Velocity and submit the file that way. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention to you. The second thing I wanted to mention to you is the file checklist. So we would like you to create a condition of the file checklist so that it forms a part of your compliance package. So if you haven't got that file checklist, you can either get it from MA-Link or email myself or Sangeeta or any of the compliance team, and we'll get you those file checklists. But we'd like you to make that a condition and still make that number one. Again, so what Michael was talking about was number one document, excuse me, within your compliance package is then, they still prefer to see them in the order that shows on the file checklist itself. So that's the sort of second thing. The third thing I wanted to mention to you is about deficiencies. Today, you are familiar with, you'll get a deficiency notification perhaps, or maybe, like I say, maybe none of you get deficiency notifications, but you might be, oh, the MPP form is missing, or oh, the signature date, or whatever the deficiency item might be. Today, you're familiar with taking that one extra document that may be required, going back onto Workbench to upload and then resubmit the file. For Velocity, you're going to need to resubmit the whole package. So if you happen to say forgot the MPP form, just use that as an example, and you submitted it to compliance and compliance came back to you through Velocity and says, you're missing the MPP form, you need to resubmit the entire package again. You need to add all of the documents, add all of the pieces as a full package, again, the file checklist. The reason is because once the file is locked down that way, or once it's been reviewed, you can't just edit one file at a time, or one document at a time beyond that. So you'll need to go and select them all. Now, the upside of that is they're all right there for you. So if you've already made the submission once, it will be some extra clickings to modify, or once you've amended or fixed that deficiency, yes, but at least they'll all be there right for you to click, 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 and then submit it off to compliance again, the way that Michael just showed you. So those are the three main differences. One is if you have deal splits and commission notes, commission specific notes, not compliance notes, commission specific notes, please log into Workbench and add those. Two is add your file checklist to your conditions and documents. And three is know that a deficiency means you need to resubmit the entire file, not just individual documents within that file. So those are my three big ones. I see we've got some chat questions here, so I'm going to open them up and have a look here. Option to add additional supporting documents when submitting files. Melissa, you mean outside? I'm assuming the question means outside of the Velocity platform. The answer would be no. You'd need to upload them into the Velocity platform as a document to include them. Will we still do Print CRM through there too? At this point in time, Jackie, no, actually. This is a process that's coming. This is part of why we're piloting. It's the best and highest use of practices for using the technology for the Print CRM enrollment. So if you do have a Print CRM enrollment, what I was saying back to that Workbench login is you're going to want to go into open the file in Workbench to make commission notes, do the Print CRM, and just save it. You don't want to upload your documents there. You want to just do those notes in Workbench, but go back to Velocity to actually submit it to compliance. What will happen is we will marry those two. We'll marry the information from Velocity to your Workbench file in order to do the payroll processing and Print CRM enrollment. But the answer is you're still going to need to do Workbench for your Print CRM. Melanie Berthier, is there any plans in the future to allow you to check the application or credit bureaus to add to the package without having to download them and upload them into conditions? That's a Velocity question. Michael.
Is there any plans in the future to allow you to check the application credit bureaus, add package without having to download them, upload them to the conditions? Not really sure. I will have to get back to you on that one with regard to if there was any discussions. I'll chat to my team and I'll get back to you.
I think, sorry, just thinking that through a little bit more, Melanie, one of the ideas here one of the concepts that we're looking to do here is to use Velocity, as we know, has date of consent received. Velocity also has date of credit bureau pulled. Well, there's 2 date comparisons right there. Velocity also has native to the platform as a document, your credit bureau. What we're looking to do, not right now, but what we're looking to do is actually eliminate the need to supply the credit bureau with your compliance package. So that might be a bit of a relief for some, but in the short term, we do want to include it. Again, the idea is that it's there and readily available. Both the date of authorization and the date of pull are available. So therefore, if we can get to it and you've got the dates and everything's fine, then we might not need to include it in the compliance package. But I'm saying that now, I'm saying that for the
Yeah.
future, not now. Hope that makes sense.
Emily, I'm in my office, honey.
It's a good way to put it.
Caroline, do we receive access to a Connect Compliance login to see a summary of compliance packages? The answer, Caroline, is no. You won't, you yourselves
What
will
do you
not
need,
see
honey? Yes.
coffee, 1 cream. Sorry. No, you won't need to go into Connect Compliance, actually, Caroline. That is just basically the dashboard user admin. That's the compliance team are going to be using what's called the Connect Compliance platform. For your experience in Velocity, you're just going to submit, and that's it. Now, having said that, your workbench files will still be there. They will still, like, those file data will be there, just not the documents, right? So you're submitting it to compliance. Compliance is reviewing it within this Connect Compliance platform that you won't see, but the information is still going to flow to Workbench should you ever want to look down. You're just not going to see the documents there anymore. One of the bigger issues of all of this is we are looking to reduce the need of document shuffling. We all know that we're living in a world of security. And the idea is not moving documents around or leaving them resident in a place that's secure and not shuffling them around. This speaks exactly to lender connections, right? Submitting files to lenders is not using that common place of documents rather than shuffling them around. Of course, we don't want to be emailing them, but so the long answer to your short question is the answer is no, you won't need a Connect Compliance login. You still have Workbench. Kelly, in the future, we'll be able to just upload the missing document and Velocity clients. I'm not going to say never, Kelly. Sorry, the question is in the future, will we be able to just upload the missing document in Velocity Compliance? I can't say never, but currently, no, you'll need to resubmit the whole package. So you may have a deficiency for one item, but you're going to need to resubmit the whole package. Basically, it's like a resubmission is like basically taking away the old one and you need to do a whole new one again. Okay. Once we submit a file from Velocity, will we see them in Workbench? Yes, the answer is yes. Now you won't see the documents, but you will have the use the transaction or the trade record sheet as we refer to it. You will have that data will be in Velocity, correct? And it will show you the statuses. One thing we don't have today, maybe this is worth mentioning, is you won't have an indication yet, we're working on this, that you will know whether when you log into your Workbench, whether or not that file was a Velocity Connect Compliance authorization. The way you'll know it traditionally is if it's signed off and there's no documents, then it's going to be in Velocity. Basically, it becomes, where are my documents? Oh, I got to go back to Velocity to look at those documents. But we're looking at making a connection there to display that to you so you know. In the future, okay. Oh, sorry, LOL. That's okay. Sorry, I just, like I said, coffee, 1 cream, Grant. Caroline, makes sense. Thank you. No problem. Said, do we still generate a TRS on Workbench? No. The answer is no. The short answer is no, Said. Now, for you and you specifically, Said, because you all on the call may or may not know, is Said's with our central underwriting unit, and they have a particular need and use for the way they do compliance. As you know, if you use the CUU, they do your file packages, they do your submissions, they finish the deal, they upload it to Workbench, and now they're going to be uploading via Velocity to do this. So the answer is, Said, you're on a special group of this pilot program, I guess is what I'm saying. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, the idea here is really the simplicity. It's just wanted you guys to understand the parameters and what we need you to help us do. When do we go live? Michael?
As of the pilot is today, I think the 15th of April is the live date.
That's
So
right.
today.
So you on this call have the ability to do a compliance file submission today in Velocity. Now I will ask for you to, if you be being on this pilot group, if you would please stay on that pilot group. Why I say that is there are the ability for people to do this within your firms is there, but we want to make sure that we're controlling the workflow and being able to test the transaction flow and the document flow, and also to make sure that you guys have the right communications back and forth. You understand that we're working collectively together and making sure that we get your commission statements out to you. But you're still going to be going to Workbench for your commission statements. You'll still find your transactions in Workbench. We just need you to do the file submissions through the Velocity platform. Again, document security and shuffling. Sherry, CVV files where we need to upload compliance through Velocity plus go into Workbench for those commission splits. That is correct, Sherry. Yes. Yeah. The activity for you, Sherry, and you, and for anybody who has deal splits. If you're doing deal splits more than just yourself, it's not a standard. No, I'm not talking about commission splits. I'm talking about I went on vacation. I'm going to split this deal 60-40 with someone. I need to go into Velocity and Workbench. I'm going to want to go to Workbench. Actually, I want to go to Workbench first and make that edit and save that file. It'll change to a status called saved by broker, and you'll save those edits. Then you'll go over to Velocity and do the file submission with the documents. So the answer for your purposes, Sherry, is yes, and that's true for everyone who has deal splits or file shares that are not standard. And I'm not talking about commission splits; those are set. I'm talking about deal splits, vacations, helping other people. This one file I want to split with, I share a co-brokered with this agent over here. We're going to split the deal with 50-50, whatever the case may be. If you have those situations, you need to go to Workbench and make those edits right now, for now. Any other questions? I'm going to call out one person who doesn't have their screen on, but Debbie, thank you so much, Debbie Vaz, for your participation and enthusiasm in helping us work through this. This is, like I say, we're trying to keep this into a controlled group, keeping the control of the file flow down, but we do want you to use it sort of as soon as possible, the minute you have a file closing. Maybe I should couch this with one more piece, which is please don't do both. Please don't go to Workbench and open and submit a file and upload documents and also do Velocity. We prefer you just do one or the other. So if you have any files right now that you've got, say you're rectifying deficiencies on Workbench, finish those in Workbench if you would, but really just use one platform if you would. Use only the Connect Compliance through the Velocity platform.
Good. I'll actually have a file to submit probably tomorrow.
Oh, Debbie, you're the best.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So there's a request to demonstrate the document shuffling process. All right, so you've done the other steps. You've selected them. You selected them for compliance using the compliance icon. You're all ready to go, and you're going to click on prepare compliance. System's going to ask you if you're ready to gather. You click on gather, and all the documents that you've selected have outlined over here within the your conditions and documents section. It's going to appear up here, to which you can just drag and drop them to the order that you want them in. Simple as that. Click and create package or create that and send it over to Connect Compliance.
Can you show how to add a condition for a file checklist, Michael?
Sure. So you can add manually. You can add anything with regard to this little button over here, or from this button over here. You can go to add and upload conditions. And over here, you'll find a drop down. Alrighty. Clicking the drop down, you'll find you've got your compliance documents down at the bottom over here. You're going to go ahead and select whatever compliance document it is that you're adding. Clicking on the document, it's going to add it on in. You're just going to click on add condition. What that's going to do is it's simply going to, in the back end, add whatever it is that you added in a tile, and then you can add it manually, or you could request from the client to send document in if that's, for example, for ID or something. So there's a client engagement that I've just added. You can upload a document from here, clicking on upload, it's gonna open on up. You can drag and drop the document in and click on open, and it's going to appear in there. And that's as simple as a manual add. Outside of that, you could also request for the document to be sent to you by selecting the document, going to actions, and requesting for the documents to be sent via email by clicking here, and then it's going to send it, and then the client can send it via the client portal. Alrighty, anything else that you need demoed?
No, I think that's it for now. If any of you have any questions, oh, there's Caroline. You can set the compliance checklist as a smart condition too. Thank you. Thanks, Caroline. Okay. Well, I think this session's been recorded. Michael, I think we can send out a follow-up email to everyone invited. Like I
Yes.
say, the pilot group, just for everyone's knowledge, was about 80 people. And I think about half of them could not attend today because we did such a short, late notice on this. So we'll be doing this again, I think, Michael, it's next week.
Yeah.
And but we can circulate the recording again.
Yeah. So what we'll do is I've recorded it to the cloud, so I'll just pop over a link, and then we can all just watch it from there, from that link.
Yeah.
I'll pop it to everybody that registered.
Okay, well, thanks again, everyone. Appreciate you attending our orientation today and appreciate truly your help in participating in our pilot group. I suppose the last probably question is, when do we think will we be going wide with this for all of our Mortgage Architects users? The plan is to, over the course of the summer, be going more wide and having this be our sort of our main platform. But you are our first people through the gate, so we're hoping to get your help to help us refine the process and make sure everything's working very smoothly before we invite the rest of our 2,000 other brokers. So thank you for being special and staying in pilot and not inviting others. And that's it.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Click.
guys.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Bye.